Hey everyone, Aladar here. There's something small that I want to bring to your attention. I'm sure a lot of you may have already heard about this already, but there's a survey that's going around on Reddit that has to do with vanilla World of Warcraft. And normally I wouldn't normally pay attention to stuff like this because I don't really see that it's a big deal. However, in this case, I do. There's a survey that's was written up. I saw the post by Zionis. Sorry if I mispronounced that. But he posted a server basically asking people, how would you like to see Blizzard implement these servers? What would you like to see them bring into these servers? What changes would you like to make, etc., etc. And normally I wouldn't think anything of it. I'd be like, okay, somebody's made a post, whatever. I'll answer the questions, see what the results are, and whatever. The thing that makes this kind of a big deal, though, is that two community managers from Blizzard have actually responded to this, saying that Blizzard is actually actively watching this, and they've actually also copied the it onto the World of Warcraft forum. So, anyways, I've gone and answered the questions. I thought I'd be able to, look and see what it was like when I immediately when I was done. I haven't actually seen the responses yet, so this came up and I was like, okay, I'm going to make a video of the responses. But I'm hoping that when I see the answers, that the people that voted the same way that I did. I'm very close to a vanilla purist. There's things that I would like to see changed in the sense that I'd like to see certain bugs removed, etc., etc. But we'll go about it from then. Let me just also preface this by saying that I'm from my point of view, I believe Blizzard is going to look at releasing these vanilla servers. Is obviously they're a company for financial gain, so I look at them as releasing these servers at a time when they're not having everyone flood into the new expansion. So I don't think it's going to be released anytime during their new expansion. I think their next expansion is probably going to come out sometime in about a year, since they just announced it, and then roughly when there's a lull about a year later, they'll announce the next classic server. So it's probably going to be in about 2 years time. And I know that's not good news to some people, but financially, from a corporation point of view, there's no way that they're going to release it at the same time. They want everybody playing their expansion, or as many people as possible, and and then that way every year they'll have something major coming out, so that it'll keep their subscription levels really high the entire time. Let's get on to these questions. So here's the results. I'll go question by question. I'll try and go as fast as I can. Ultimate WoW Classic Design Survey, so that's what it's about. Now basically I'm expecting that because Blizzard wants to have something major come out every year, so an expansion, then a year later vanilla, another expansion, Burning Crusade, whatever you want to call it, Legacy server expansion, then Wrath of the Lich King, etc., etc. I think they'll stop at Wrath of the Lich King. But anyways, because I expect that they have to shrink that original 2-year timeline down to 1 year, there's going to be certain things here where I think that it should just be added right from the beginning. Things that were added a year later should be after 6 months, etc., etc. So Moradon, it released 1 month and 24 days after the initial release. I think they should just include that right away, just because they need to shrink that timeline down and be able to get people to be able to give them the content in a year, finish it in a year, and then move on to their next expansion. It's a corporation that's making decisions based on money. So I think this is what they're going to do. Do I think they should? In this case, yeah, I do. Dire Maul, accessible at the start of the server again. It's within 3 months. I said yes. Azure Ghost and Lord Kazakh. This one here, maybe not right at release, but maybe a month later or something. And same as Garabushi Arena event, not 4 months, but again, half that down. You can see the people here 50-50 on that, exactly 50-50 is it? Very close, 2 votes away. So again, I think it should be, maybe a month after release. Now the Battlegrounds, I think they should actually all be released right at launch. Just another thing for people to do. It was in vanilla. I would like to see them launch it right at launch. I can understand why people would say no. these people here. I said yes, but I can understand why people said no. I want to see as many people in the world zones as possible, so I can understand why people said no. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I might change my mind. Can I change my mind? I'd like to say no. During the leveling experience, I want people to be out in the world. I don't want them to be, leveling up in battlegrounds. Anyways, let me change my mind. I'm changing it to no. I know that's the unpopular vote, but that's why. Blackwing Lair, absolutely not. Molten Core obviously will be, but Blackwing Lair, no. I know I've talked to guild leaders of a couple of different guilds where they can get get leveled up extremely fast, and they can get Molten Core on farm basically right from day one. That would mean that literally within a month they're going to be farming Blackwing Lair, and I'm just like, no. The raids should still come out in stages, not as long as it was before. They should all be available probably within about 8 months of release, so that after a year everybody's had a chance to clear all the content and they can move on to the expansion. I think that's what Blizzard's going to do. I know that might not be what purists want, but Blizzard's going to make decisions based on financial gain. We've got to understand that. That's why they're so successful. So stuff like that, I think Blackwing Lair will probably come out, I'm thinking probably within about 3 months. Darkmoon Fair, I don't really care for Darkmoon Fair. I don't really care either way. But I think some of these things that came out later, maybe they could batch them up and have them in one big release patch, like after 3 months or something like that. So that would be one of those. Zul'Grub is another one. Definitely not. It should not be after release. It should be after Blackwing Lair, maybe a month after or something. But 10 months is a little too long. Again, on that 1 year timeline, it should probably come down to about 5 or 6 months, something like that. Arathi Basin, I thought... originally I said that I thought all Battlegrounds should be at release. I changed my mind. I said yes initially for this, and now making this video I'm saying no. I don't think they should be. About 5 months afterwards, maybe, something like that. So yeah, I've changed my mind actually from this vote. So take one vote off of this one here and put it up here for me. Should Stranglethorn Veil Fishing Extravaganza be accessible at the start of the server? I don't really care for the Fishing Extravaganza. I don't really care. But as a vanilla purist, I'd probably say no. But it doesn't really... This isn't game breaking for me, so I'm not... I'm not going to suddenly... Oh, I'm not playing. This is one of those things where if they implement it, I'm not going to say no, I'm not playing. And I think a lot of other people feel that way as well. There's other ones later on down the list where if they implement it, I will not play on the server. I'll just be like, nope, sorry, not doing it. Should the Dragons of Nightmare be accessible at the start of the server? 80.7% say no. I definitely say no as well. AQ20, AQ40, what are these 9.7 people even thinking here? Like, absolutely not. It should be progression style server, just as it was in vanilla. AQ40 and AQ20 should not be accessible until after Blackwing Lair. So definitely a big strong no from people that are voting. Should the war effort be a single one-time event per server, or should it be cyclical? I put that it should be cyclical once per year. And essentially the reason I thought that is because I believe, in my opinion, these vanilla servers will be vanilla forever. And I'll get to that later. But so something that happened just once when we had vanilla would make sense that it would happen, on these servers more than once, so down the road. But I had to decide between these two here. Either of these two, if it's more than once per year, again, not really game breaking for me. I'm probably not going to say no, I'm not going to play this game because of that. But I believe it should be one of these two situations here. I'd be fine either way. Naxxramas, I'm not even going to finish the question. If Naxxramas is released at release, that is absolutely stupid. These 9.1 people should not play on the server. These 90.9%, they understand what vanilla is like. This here, no, they should not. It was released 1.5 years after initial release. It should be maybe released 8 months, like I said earlier, 8 months after release, and then that way people have the chance to finish everything in a year before the expansion hits, right? Because I'm predicting the expansion is going to hit the next expansion, whatever that is going to hit 1 year after vanilla servers are released. So if you release this 8 months afterwards, it gives people the opportunity to go into Naxxramas, try and clear it. They've got 4 months to basically get it done. Cross-realm battlegrounds, absolutely not. One of the best things about vanilla World of Warcraft was the sense of community. you knew the people on the opposing team. If you were Alliance, you knew who the good Horde players were, same vice versa. So it actually made it a lot more competitive. We used to queue up as a guild to fight against other guilds. You can't do that now. Like we used to just deliberately queue up over and over and over again until we could have that ultimate fight against this guild that we hated that was on the other side of the server. You don't hate guilds that are on other servers or that are that aren't on your server or on your realm now. Like, you don't even know who they are. They're just another random pug person. Should the arena system be added at one point? Okay, this one here, I love arenas. I watch streamers who stream arenas. I watch the championships every BlizzCon. I love it. I voted no because it's just not vanilla. I don't know that it's something where I would say, forget it, I'm not playing vanilla this classic server. I really hope that they don't implement it though. So you can see the majority of people, it's about a 2/3 split, voted the same way as me. We'll have to see what they do, but I hope that they say no to arenas. Would you like to keep dishonorable kills? I voted to keep them. They were in vanilla, or they came in at 1.5. Sorry, but they were in vanilla. I remember when they weren't there. I don't mind if they're there. If they're there, they're not. I might even slightly prefer that they weren't there. If the other opposing faction wants to come kill all my NPCs and stuff like that, you got to do something and rise up and do something about it. I think specifically on the PvP servers, maybe they should leave dishonorable kills off, and maybe on the PvE, the neutral servers, leave them on. Perhaps maybe that's what they'll do. Should Blizzard provide additional incentive? No, there should be no more additional incentive. I don't know if you guys remember vanilla World of Warcraft. You didn't need incentive. There was PvP everywhere. So I don't want to see some gimmicky little area where people are going or whatever, some event. No, absolutely not. Should UBRs be 10 man or 15 man? It was changed to 10 man in 1.1. I left it as 10 man. Same as Stratham and Solomance. I left them as 5 man as well. I don't know that it's game breaking for me either way. They were both in vanilla, so I'm not really too concerned. But one or the other, maybe make them both 10, so that you've got one changed and one that's not. Would you like to see classic expansions implemented at some point? Yes. And I would like to see, and I'll get this later on. I'll just say yes, and then I'll explain later on why. Should classic expansions increase the level cap for the remain at level 60? Overwhelmingly remain at level 60. Just leave it the way it is. Do it the same way you guys were doing it before when a new expansion comes out. But I'll get to exactly how I'd like you to implement it this time, okay? Should classic expansions use other continents, or should all new zones be part of the existing continents? Definitely use existing continents only. It looks like it's 2/3 as well here. It just makes sense. Would you like to see all inaccessible zones on Azeroth and Eastern Kingdoms become accessible zones in the future? No, not at all. Just leave it the way it was. You can kind of get the sense here that the purists, like everybody, wants it the way it was in vanilla. This one here kind of surprised me a bit, or it surprises me a little bit. Let me reread this. Would you like to see new raids and dungeons added that were hinted at during vanilla but never implemented? They weren't brought in vanilla, so I would not want them. So why are all these people voting for it? That doesn't make sense to me. I voted no. So no, they should not be there. These are not vanilla. You should need to wait. Sorry, but definitely, absolutely no. That's my opinion, anyways. Should new raid and dungeon items drop remain at or below Naxxramas item levels, or go beyond Nax item status? Definitely below. Naxxramas should be the ultimate endgame raid, period, where the best items come in, etc., etc. So there should be no new raids and dungeons anyways. So as I showed in my opinion, but definitely not higher than Naxxramas. If Blizzard offers a TBC server, would you like the ability to copy your vanilla character to it? Now, the key word here is copy, and this goes back to what I was talking about earlier with the future expansions. I want to be able to leave my vanilla character on the vanilla server so that I can come back and continue to enjoy vanilla, but I'd like to be able to take a copy of that and put it on a new Burning Crusade server and then be able to continue on with that, so I can still enjoy both. It doesn't ruin my vanilla experience the next time when you come up with a new expansion or a new legacy server, or classic server, whatever you want to call it. So definitely you need to be able to copy your characters. Overwhelmingly yes, and I believe that one word is why. Classes were balanced throughout vanilla. Should class talents be in their earlier state or later state throughout classic? If they're talking about the changes to, I think it should be the later state. So as long as they're not meaning like the new tree system, which they don't, they say throughout classic, then I would prefer that classes were when classic is released, the classes themselves are released as they were in the later stages of vanilla, not at the beginning. Just already get that out of the way so that they're in their final vanilla state, and then just leave the trees the way they are. You don't have to update this. So this should be right at the very beginning, in my opinion. Let's see. Actually, let me reread this question here. Classes were balanced throughout vanilla. Should class talents be in their earlier state or later state? Yes, so I'm reading that right. So yes, they should be in their later state. Like they've already gone through the class balancing and stuff like that. So leave them in the later state. Would you like to see Blizzard periodically balance classes in the future? This is kind of a touchy subject. This is the one where everybody's just kind of going like this at each other, right? And this is the big question here. In my opinion, I would like to see as many people enjoy their classes as possible, but I want the classes to stay true to what they were like in vanilla World of Warcraft. Rogues in vanilla World of Warcraft destroyed cloth casters quite regularly with ease. It still should be the same way, as much as I hate rogues. So now if they're talking about periodically balancing classes by doing stuff like maybe making them viable in raids, so that if you wanted to play a protection paladin as a tank as opposed to a warrior, it's not really changing the raid or anything like that. There's not really an advantage to it. It's just, hey, this guy's now able to taunt. I don't think that's game breaking or it's destroying anyone's experience or anything like that. I think that's fine. Give them a taunt so that they can actually be a viable tank. So same as elemental shamans. They can't raid because they don't have enough mana regen. Give them a little bit of a buff so that they can finish the fight. They're not going to be doing, tremendously more DPS or even more DPS than a mage, but just make it viable so that if somebody really loves their shaman, that they'll actually play their shaman rather than quit the game. It's not changing whether or not it's making it any easier. It just means that there's a different class. It's more there's more flavor to the classes that you're allowed to bring to raids. It's not just 10 mages, 5 a few hunters, a bunch of rogues, etc., etc. You can actually have 5 mages, 3 elemental shamans, maybe 2 or 3 boomkins or something like that, just to make it so that more people enjoy their class. It's not changing whether or not they're going to be able to PvP any better. They're not doing more damage or anything like that. Okay, it's not game breaking. It just allows more people to have fun with the game. The more people that are playing the game, the more enjoyable it is for all of us. Would you like to see additional classes viable for? I think I just answered this. I would. If it can be a minor buff where it doesn't break the raid itself, where it just makes it too easy, then I don't mind it. But if it's something that destroys or it gives such a huge buff, or it's a minor buff in PvE, but it's a major buff in PvP, and suddenly they just start destroying every class, then no. So I'll leave it at that. Should battle masters exist to queue MBGs? Yes, I believe they should. Would you like to? No. why are people answering this? Why are people answering yes? I guess you're missing the point on the vanilla experience here, folks. Like, if you don't like this, then probably stay with Legion or whatever their expansion is. The tree system was what made one of the things that made vanilla World of Warcraft so special. You had to actually work. Now, I can understand some classes like warriors getting fed up with, having to constantly pay. Like, if you're a warrior that you went and did 2 raids with your guild every week and you had to pay to flip back and forth all the time, whereas your other classes can get by on just having one spec in both PvP and PvE. I can understand why you're a little annoyed. You're spending 50 gold each time and you're doing it 4 times a week. That's a lot. So I can understand why those classes would be a little bit pissed off. But that brings to another question down below that we'll get to. Would you like to see guild banks offered in vanilla? I say no. The reason I say no is because I like the community feeling of a guild. You had to get to know each other and talk to each other about what you need and stuff like that. So I like that as staying as no. Would you like to have personal bank size expandable? Nope. Would you prefer a lower maximum respec cost? For this is what I was talking about just up above a couple of questions. I can understand why for some classes it's just too much. Like, they can't enjoy their class as a tank. When they're tanking, they're basically doing it for the benefit of the guild, but when they want to go PvP, they got to spend just a ridiculous amount of money that other people don't ever have to pay. So, I mean, if they go do 2 raids a week and then they want a PvP in between, that's 4 swaps that they have to do, and at 50 gold a swap, that's a little bit much. So if it was lowered to 25, I might be okay with that. Would you like to see flying? No, this is terrible. These people here, these 236 people, this flying mounts helped ruin the game. Okay, I was excited as everyone else when flying mounts came in. I look back, hindsight is 2020. It helped destroy the game, to be honest. I like the fact that each town was a hub where people were, and then they spread out from there instead of just flying from town to town. Now you go into areas and there's nobody even in the town because they don't even fly there. They just fly straight to the zone, and the world zones look dead because people aren't leveling the zone. They're leveling with using looking for group or group finder or whatever, a raid finder, and they're just kind of standing in a town. They're not actually going out in zones to explore or anything like that. And those that are, they're flying in mounts way up in the sky. You're not actually seeing them. So no, I don't like that idea at all. Would you like dungeon finder? Nope. This here, and I'm not kidding you, if either of these two are brought into the game, I will not play. These two here destroyed vanilla. What is vanilla World of Warcraft to people who were dying to get this back into the game. So to bring this in is just a slap in the face of everyone who's done so much hard work to bring vanilla World of Warcraft and get Blizzard's attention, etc., etc. If Blizzard implements this, they've missed the point. They've completely missed the point of what people are wanting from this. So if they bring this in, that destroys the game. I won't play it. It's not vanilla. It's not classic. It's a joke. So you people here that are voting down here should literally be ashamed of yourselves. It's terrible. You're not wanting vanilla World of Warcraft. You're not wanting classic servers then. You won't even be playing on classic servers. Okay, anyways. Would you like to have a meeting stones? No. This was offered, I believe, Burning Crusade was offered. Absolutely not. Why are these people voting yes? Okay, do you want vanilla World of Warcraft or not? Do you want a vanilla-like feeling or not? Do you want that sense of worry when you're running into Black Rock Mountain or into an instance, or you're worried about whether or not there's going to be other guilds there or whatever waiting to get in? No, absolutely not. You should have to. There's got to be effort. That's what vanilla World of Warcraft was. There was effort to do things like this. And by offering stones and offering Raid Finder and Dungeon Finder, it's taking away that effort. That's what made vanilla World of Warcraft what it is. Auction House exists in every capital. I put yes. Initially it wasn't, and then in 1.9 it was. And then should auction houses be on the of the same faction be linked? Of course they should. Otherwise you'd be going to, everybody would just eventually pick one auction house anyway, so it would make the other one redundant. Everybody in game would just not naturally say, you know what, we're just all going to use Ogrimmar. Don't bother with Thunderbluff. That nobody goes there to buy and sell stuff anyway. So, should additional flight paths be added? No, that's kind of what I've been going on about. Vanilla World of Warcraft, you had to make an effort to get places. This is taking away from that. Not a chance. Should flight paths be linked? Yes, they should. And then this here, this amazes me that we even have to ask this question. What level should be required to gain your very first mount? In vanilla it was 40. It should stay as 40. That's what made vanilla. When people ask you what do you think about for vanilla World of Warcraft, one of the first things that you think about is that you didn't get a mount until level 40. And it was tough to get the gold together in order to buy it. Most people didn't get a mount at level 40. They got it at like level 44 or 45 because they didn't have all the gold at 40. Some people did, but not everybody. Should loot be pick upable automatically without having to click on the item in the loot window? I personally believe there should be auto loot. It's just I put there should be auto loot personally. This is not something that's game breaking to me anyways. Should raids have dungeon timers? This is so stupid. Like there are actually this many people that are. You want a raid timer? Go get. I wish I had my phone here. Go get your phone and put it to stopwatch and click on the time and do it yourself. Like there's no reason to have it. It's not going to be game breaking if it doesn't, I guess. It just wasn't in vanilla World of Warcraft. Again, you're missing the point of these vanilla classic servers. Should Molten Core be accessible only through Black Rock Depths, or accessible via window teleportation as added in patch 1.3? I personally don't care either way, but it should probably be accessible through the window as well. But again, it's not game breaking either way for me. I would probably say through the window. Actually, I did say through the window, but no, definitely through the window. I hesitated when I first answered it, but definitely through the window, because that's just how it was in vanilla. For a very short period of time, you had to go through Molten Core in order to get it. I do believe you still need to get all your keying and stuff done. So remember that keying that you had to do, where you had to finish Molten Core, and then finally you were able to get through. You were able to access BRD. That's how it should still be. So, should vanilla style wall walking be permitted? No. I know people are saying yes because it was frequent. But I don't think that you should be able to access it. It's just a bug, and I prefer they just got rid of bugs. It's amazing how people want it for the outside world, but for Battlegrounds, oh no, we don't want that. Well, I guess in Battlegrounds it gives them an advantage. Definitely no. I don't want to see the bugs there. Should donations of offering type of cloth be permitted to increase reputation? Yes, I believe they should be. Should weather effects? Definitely yes. That one of the coolest things I ever experienced in video games was when I first went to Stragglethorn Vale, and it suddenly began to rain. I was like, "What the hell is going on here?" Like, it was the first time I saw it, and like suddenly I was like, "This is the coolest shit ever." I don't even think it was on my main, because at patch 1.10, I was well past Stragglethorn Vale on my main character. But the first time I saw it, I was like, "This is unbelievable." What level rate? This is another embarrassing question. These people here should just be ignored, because you're not actually wanting to play on a classic server. Period. Okay. Part of the experience of a classic server was the leveling. So these people should just be ignored. You should be ashamed of yourselves. 2 times XP rate. Would you like an option to pay? This one pissed me off too. Like, pay to win or something like. No, absolutely not. Like, no, do not. It's vanilla experience, folks. Would you like an option to display updated graphics for later expansions? This one here, I've got 2 where I'm okay with. I will always play with the original models. I will not ever use the updated graphics. But if they want to give people the option to have the updated graphics, but with them default to no, then I would say and as long as it doesn't affect gameplay, then I'm okay with that. So this is yes, but old graphics on by default. I'd be okay with that, but no was my answer. Would you like to see an option to increase terrain visibility? Definitely yes. I was running along just earlier today on stream, and I was watching this guy behind me, and he was slowly. I had speed boots on, and he was slowly going back, but ridiculously short a distance away. Suddenly he disappeared because the terrain distance was turned down, and you can't see things that you should be able to see. I've not great eyesight, and like I can see people, off in the distance. But in this game, it's like they're 20 feet away, and things disappear. It's a little silly. So that definitely should be increased, I think. Even though it's not vanilla, I understand that. But that was basically because of how things worked at the time. But I think that could be fixed. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Those are just my opinions. I can understand why other people have difference of opinions, but I think some of you might want to recheck what it is you're looking for in the game, because these classic servers, they're meant to be vanilla-like, which means that they're not easy to level on, they're not easy to get things done on, things take time, and what we missed most about that period of time in World of Warcraft was the sense of accomplishment of actually getting something done. I watched people level from 1 to 60 on their streams in the last week, and there was a couple of people that got there. There's people that got there within 1 day. That's not a vanilla experience. That's not a classic server experience. So let's get that out of the thinking right now. If you don't like these type of servers, just don't play on them. Like, seriously, don't play on them, because you're going to be miserable. And those of us that really enjoy having a sense of accomplishment and going out and doing something, this is why we've left retail World of Warcraft. It just doesn't have the same sense of feeling. But when we're playing on private servers, it's like there's so many of us that are there, and everybody's like, my God, this is absolutely unbelievable. How fantastic this feels. You get something done and you feel good about it, and that's one of the major things that we're missing. Anyways, if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel. If you want to watch me live stream, you can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Aladar. I'll put the links down below. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram or on Twitter. I'll put those links down below as well. Again, these are just my opinions on what I hope Blizzard does. They are as close to vanilla as possible. I can make rooms for some adjustments, and I understand that Blizzard is probably going to make some minor adjustments. I just hope that they don't do something to take away that classic vanilla feeling for us, or the feeling that we had when we were playing those classes. I don't want some sweeping changes to destroy certain classes or really buff up certain other classes to make them way too powerful, etc., etc. So I'm really hoping Blizzard watches this, looks at these results, and understands that the people that are wanting to play on these servers really want a classic feel. So anyways, that's everything for me. I hope you guys have a good day. Let me know in the comments section below what you'd like to see Blizzard do, what changes you'd like to see them make or not make, and I'll talk to you again some other time. Thanks a lot.